Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Jay's Corner, where we explore the art of living life boldly and embracing every facet of this life's journey. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, this is another episode, guys. I know I said the next episode would be with my husband as a guest, but we lost most of the footage, and due to personal reasons, we're unable to film another one at this moment. Work commitments on Dwight's end. So once he's able to film another episode, then we'll be able to do that. But I didn't want to leave you guys hanging any longer. And again, I thank you all so much for the support and for all of the messages and checking in on when is the next episode. So I'm really thankful and grateful for everyone who's been supporting me thus far. And let's keep this going. So today we're going to talk about friendships, and I'm going to leave a disclaimer. I'm just going to be talking about my experience and hope that others can learn from it. And it's not an opportunity for me to, like, air any dirty laundry or stuff. Like, I'll give a little story time based on what topic I'm speaking on at the moment, but I won't like go into detail just to be respectful. But I'll still say how I feel. So because that's what this podcast is about, me saying how I feel, me talking about my experiences in life, and just being open and honest. And hopefully, people can listen and learn and be able to, I don't know, move forward and make changes in their lives and learn from the mistakes that I've made. And yeah, watch out for some of those red flags that I'll be talking about and green flags because those are important too. But yes, guys, I'll be very candid, as candid and open as possible. That's my goal for this podcast. I want to ensure that I'm speaking and being my true self and sharing my experiences and things that I would have experienced in the past. So that's just what I'm here to do today. And, it's not an attack against anyone. Um, so, yeah, I just hope that that's clear. Okay, now we can start. Get into the tea. So, guys, today's cocktail of the episode is this. I've been drinking it, so it doesn't look as nice as in the beginning, but it's gin, of course, and still the lemon lime, low calories, 0 calorie knockoff on Sprite. But I've added some edible glitter. I have things to make cocktails, y'all, so I just make whatever. It's looking purple now because I have edible purple glitter, and hey, it's a good drink and it's nice and it just keeps me in check. So I added 2 slices of lemon. I just like the way lemon goes with gin, so it doesn't matter what type of drink I'm making, I'll always add lemon. So yeah, that's my cocktail of the episode today. I don't have a name for it. Sorry. It's just a cute purple gin and Sprite. Okay. So with friendships, um, I am a very black and white person. It's either we're friends or we're not friends. If you're my acquaintance, fine, but I wouldn't really take that, serious or anything. Like, it'll just be like greetings, hi and bye, maybe happy birthday, reply to stories, chat, yada, yada, yada. But if I call you my friend, I expect you to treat me and be down for me the way that I'll be down for you. That's just how I am. And there's levels to friendship, which I'm learning because I feel like that's something that I've never really taken into consideration that you can have different levels of friendship and different types of friendships with people, and it's not something that I've been ever doing really. It's only now recently I've been able to see forcefully that there are different levels to friendship, and that's just how it's gonna be. So in today's society, very modern, technology is taken over. Friendships are also becoming very modern, and they're affected in many different ways. A lot of friendships are long distance. A lot of friendships are formed through social media. You're making friends. And it's not just because of your circumstances anymore. You're actually making friends through those connections, through maybe liking each other's stories and just little things along the way through social media. You'll develop a relationship with someone. And it's something that's new, of course. I mean, back in the day, yeah, we would make random friends on Messenger or so on. But now, is it Messenger or is it MSN? I think it's MSN. But now, you make friends through TikTok and Instagram. Instagram mostly, I think, but I feel like influencers, they would probably make friends through TikTok and maybe YouTube and so on. Like they'll form those relationships through those platforms. Um, and it's very technical, and you have to learn how to navigate those friendships. And obviously as adults, we're also learning how to navigate our friendships because we're still growing, we're still changing, we're still developing as human beings, and just getting into that adult space. We're transitioning from our teenage years to now being responsible adults, something that we all wanted to be so badly, and now we hate it. Can you imagine? Yeah, but we're changing personalities. People are expecting more. People are doing things that they feel like they need to do in life, and you still need to give your friendships that nurturing. You still need to give your friendships that attention and care. And I am a firm believer that friendships are just as important as your relationship, like an intimate relationship or romantic relationships, because everyone says it, but friendship breakups hurt just as bad as a partner, because especially when you're friends with someone for years. Well, in my case, and I know in a lot of other people's cases, friendship breakups are very hard. And that's why I always say, if it's not hard for someone, that means that you guys never really had that type of friendship that maybe the other person thought that you had, because you can never say that you've been friends with someone for like 10, 15, 17 plus years, and you and that individual stop talking altogether and you're not affected at all. What? No, that's mind blowing. That's crazy to me. I can't, it does not make sense to me logically. I cannot understand it. I'm always trying to find a reason why, but I just cannot understand how it can't affect someone. I mean, I know there are very nonchalant people out there and people who are very much easy, like, they're able to put things behind them quickly, move on quickly, and it's like out of sight, out of mind, which I operate out of sight, out of mind too. But if it's a friendship and like ever so often, I'll probably think about it and be like, damn, like I'll feel hurt. But not everyone feels that way. And that's fair. That's still valid. Your feelings are still valid. And that is something that I've been learning recently. Well, I won't say recently, a couple of years now. I've been understanding more that you need to be able to respect and value someone else's feelings, and they need to respect and value your feelings. Even if it's different, you both should be able to respect each other's perspective and point of view and be able to move on. Whether it's a agree to disagree scenario, then that's just what it has to be. But it should never be you're wrong, I'm right, and what you're saying does not make any sense. It should never be that. I mean, sometimes, people say shit that doesn't make sense. Excuse my language, but everyone's entitled to their own opinions and feelings, okay? We're gonna leave it at that. But um, I think nurturing your friendships is becoming more challenging as you get older and you start your own life. So personally, um, my friendships, I feel like ever since I moved to the UK, my friendships started to go downhill. I am a bad texter for sure. Um, I'm a bad texter in general, family, friends, like I'm just a bad texter. But I don't think that that's the reason why my friendships went downhill when I moved here. Um, there were things that happened years later while in the UK, but specifically when the decline started, um, I think it definitely started when I moved to the UK. And I'm not saying that I am perfect. I know, I've probably done stuff that offended people, but I am always open to having a conversation, and that's not always reciprocated. Like, you know, it's always not a big deal, but it's a big enough deal to feel a type of way about someone. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. And that's why I always have to resort to the fact that if someone doesn't care enough to have resolution with you, then that simply means that that's just not your friend. That's how I feel though. People can feel differently. They can feel, oh, well, maybe that person is just nonchalant and maybe it's just not a priority for them, or maybe they just don't see it the way you see it. And that's okay, that's fair. But if I have a friend and I have an issue with a friend and I want to resolve it and my friend doesn't want to resolve it, then I just see you as not my friend. Because why would you not want to resolve it? Why would you not want us to be good? Why would you want us to not have a conversation and make things okay? It just doesn't make sense to me. So I just, I don't know. I will forever feel like it's insane how people can throw years of friendship away over small things and crazy things and petty things without having conversations. It's just mind blowing to me. I'll always feel that way. But, I love very hard and I'm a very emotional person. So I don't know, maybe that I'm just not, like that my cup of tea is not your cup of tea, and that's okay. All right, well, that was a little interruption, but let's get back to it. So, um, obviously, as you grow older, as I was saying, you need to be a bit more intentional in your friendships and sustaining those friendships. Obviously, you don't need to talk to your friends every single day, but I mean, every couple months at least, you guys should probably have a check in. Um, because without regular communication, how are you going to keep that relationship? How are you going to maintain that level of friendship? It just wouldn't continue to build. I mean, of course there are some relationships where you go weeks without speaking, months without speaking, and then you pick back up as normal, but at least that means you've had a solid foundation. But for other friendships, regular communication is something that you need to be doing to keep ensuring that that friendship is blossoming, flourishing, and you're there for your friend because you don't know what everyone is going through in their lives. People can be going through things silently and they just don't want to say. And probably you checking in would be that moment where your friend decides that, oh my gosh, let me open up and say that this is what's going on with me and I've been having a challenging time. You just never know what's happening behind closed doors. And some friends, and you would know of your friends who are a bit more secretive and a bit reluctant to share information. So you'll know those type of friends and they may need checking in more than other friends. So I think in that way, knowing your friends, knowing who they are, knowing their personalities would enable you to be able to be a better friend to your friends, and of course them in turn to you. um, I think communication is something that a lot of people need to work on. And when I say communication, I don't just mean reaching out, because for some reason, I think disagreements are something that people have a hard time with, and they're unable to have that emotional maturity to have a disagreeing conversation with your friend. Not all the time you're gonna be able to agree with your friend, and your friend should be able to pull you up when you're not doing something right. They should be able to keep you accountable. And if you and your friend disagree about something, you guys should both be able to have a conversation to resolve that issue and move on from it respectfully. And if it's not respectful, then, whoever was disrespectful would obviously need to apologize. But that's your friend at the end of the day. And you would know your friend, so you would know their personality. So you'll have an idea as to how they'll respond to things, but you'll still expect them to have that level of emotional maturity and that intellect to be able to have a conversation with depth and not just be very um vague or dismissive in the conversation. Because to me, that's disrespectful. Any friend that does that, I don't see you as a friend, because why are you being disrespectful? Why can't you have a conversation? Why are you being dismissive? Why are you being rude? It just doesn't make sense to me. So, and if you're treating your friend that way, then that shows that you don't even have respect for your friend. So is that really a friend? No, it's not. It's just not your friend, because you can't treat people that you love with that level of disrespect and then still expect for everything to be a-okay. Of course, things happen. No one is perfect. So, I'm talking about repetitive behavior, not like once in a while. Maybe someone might curse you out or something. Your friend might lose her temper or his temper and they curse you out. I'm not speaking about that. I'm speaking about repetitive actions where issues are just unable to be resolved because that person just wants to say what they want to say and then don't care what you have to say and then move on. And how does that resolve anything? Because everyone needs to say how they feel, not just one person. It can be one sided. It just can be one sided. It's equality, people. Equality. um, yeah, so that's it for communication. Quality time is another thing that you should be doing to nurture your friendships. And for me, quality time varies because I have friends that are not in the UK. So the quality time that I would have with my friends, obviously, who are here, is different from the friends that I have um, back home. Well, not just back home, but just abroad in general. So conversations over the phone, maybe instead of us texting, we might have a phone call and spend hours on a call. Um, or maybe we'll just decide that we're going to send a bunch of reels to each other and just talk about those reels that we've sent. Those things, I mean, my friend from Montserrat, we communicate a lot through reels, sending reels with each other and saving things for us to do when we meet up again. Like, that's us spending time. And we would need to, like, if she calls me, she'll be annoyed because sometimes I don't answer. Y'all, I don't really like calls. Schedule a meeting with me, please. Sometimes I'm just so busy and I miss the call, and then I say I'm going to call back, and in my head I'm going to call back, but then I don't, and then it's too late. It's time for bed, and then it's like 5 p.m. her time, and I'm ready to go to bed because it's 11, and I'm like, what kind of conversation are we going to have? So even in those sense, of course, in that aspect, I need to be a bit more um, intentional in making time to speak with my friend. I need to be a bit more responsible in managing my time and returning calls and texting back and so on. I mean, everyone trolls me for my texting. 100%. I feel like the only person who probably won't have a problem with my texting is probably Tiffany. But even recently, I feel like um, there was a couple times she said like, where am I, why am I MIA? And I've probably said the same thing to her, and I think she said, actually it's you're that MIA. But those long distance relationships, it's they're so special to me, so I'm happy to have them. And we can spend quality time in any ways that we feel like doing it. Catching up is the most common way that we'll do it, a phone call and just spend like hours on the phone. Whereas my friends in the UK, we would go out or just go over at each other's houses. We live like 5 minutes away from each other. So we're all very in close proximity. So it's easier to spend little quality time with them, even though they still complain because I'm always with my husband. But even in that time, spending quality time with them is still something that I do. I still make the time to do it, whether it's like, just a Friday night and we just chill, play games if you want, or just talk, that's the quality time that we would spend with each other. And it's very important because in those moments, you're able to catch up on things that you want to talk about, things that you haven't been able to share. Some of my friends, they don't like texting that much, so they won't really talk about the issues over text. So when we see in person, that's when I'll hear everything that's been going on and see how things been going. And it's just an opportunity for everyone to bond and build their relationship and just continue nurturing and putting that love and effort into your friendships because they are important. As I said, it's as important as a relationship with your partner, and we need to recognize that we're here on earth for a short time. So it's important to spend quality time with your friends, with your loved ones, with everyone that you care about, because you don't know when it's going to be your last or their last. And with quality time and communication comes active listening because, again, it's similar to what Dwight and I would have spoken about on the podcast. I mean, I'm so upset about that episode anyway. But we spoke about active listening in our relationship, and it is something that you have to apply in your friendships. You need to listen to be able to understand your friend's point of view, and they need to listen to be able to understand you need to listen to be able to understand their point of view, and they need to do the same, vice versa, basically. If you're not doing that and you're only reading or hearing to respond, to defend, you're not listening. You need to be able to understand where someone is coming from before you can actually class that as listening. If you're not understanding, then ask for clarity, ask for clarification, ask for examples, ask for those things so you can have the understanding that you need to be able to give a response that is of substance and a response that would add value to the conversation. Because if you're not actively listening to what the person is saying, you're just there to defend your point of view, that means you're not open to hearing what they're saying, and you're just going with a narrow-minded point of view, and that's where you'll stay, unfortunately. And again, there'll be no resolution, there'll be no resolve. And it's okay to not resolve things. Yeah, I don't want to come off as, everyone needs to resolve things, because some people need to stay in your past. That's 100% sure. And you'll be able to recognize those people when I start talking about the red flags and the green flags, because it's just a thing. People come in your life, they go, and it is what it is. It is something that I'm struggling with. I can be so honest about it, especially now in this time where my friendships are navigating from friends to acquaintances to associates or to just nothing at all. And it is challenging for me personally. And I'm not the type of person, like, people would have done things to me, and I'm not the type of person to hold it on. But I expect that from other people as well. Like, if I do something, I don't expect you to hold it on, but trust me, baby, they're holding it on. They're holding it on for sure. And using that to build their perception of who you are, okay? And someone's perception of who you are is not the reality, okay? It's not. When I was having a conversation with my friend 2 days ago, was it 2 days? Saturday, anyway. Anyway, it won't be Saturday when I film this, but anyway, a couple days ago, I was having that conversation with my friend, and she was basically telling me that I need to stop trying to show people who I am, like try to prove who I am to people, because whatever they believe about me, they're gonna believe it. It doesn't matter what I do, what I say, they're not gonna believe the person that I know I am. And she was just like, you can't change someone's perception of you. And that's not something for you to do at all. You know who you are, the people who you care about know who you are, and that's all that matters. And it made me so emotional because it sunk in, and finally sunk in, like seriously, finally sunk in. And over the past couple years, I would say, um, I've been trying to, I guess, make sure that people feel loved by me in a way. So, I mean, this is not for everyone, of course. This is just for some people. Like, just me being intentional and checking in. That's my way of showing that I care about you. That's my way of showing that I have love for you. But it may not be someone else's way, so they won't recognize that by me checking in is me showing up for you. Like, it would just not be something that they think about. Maybe they might feel like a phone call is going to be better, or maybe they feel like me opening up about things in my life is me being more vulnerable. But I'm just doing what I can, showing you how I can show up for you in any ways that I can. But it's not something that's always accepted, and that's okay. um what's important is God knowing who you are, your family, the people that care about you, and you knowing who you are. You knowing who you are, believing who you are, trusting who you are, trusting the person that you are, trusting that you know you're a good person, you're beautiful, you're confident, you're everything. You trusting and believing that that's who you are, or whatever it is that you want to believe about yourself. Once you believe that, game over, guys. Game over. And I'm finally 27 years on this earth. I mean, I wasn't learning those things younger. But anyway, I guess over the last 10 years, big shift for me. And it's been a journey. I'll talk about an experience in a couple of minutes when we get to a next topic. Um, and I guess that would share a bit more about my journey and my experience with friends. Um, Another way that you can show up for your friends and nurture your friendship is by being reliable and celebrating milestones. Being reliable means that if your friend needs you, you're there. And you're not the type of friend that's, I don't want to say flaky, because you can be a flaky friend but still reliable in some cases. Um, but you need to be someone that your friend can depend on when you're in a bad situation. Like, can I depend on this friend? Can I call this friend like right now and they'll show up for me? And if they can say yes, then you're a reliable friend. Celebrating milestones, girl. Celebrating milestones is this is something else, because as I said in my introduction, a big reason why I was delaying this whole thing and content creating on social media is because I'm caring about the people that know me. And because of certain experiences and certain little things that would have happened in my life, milestones that were not celebrated, if you can't celebrate small things in my life, how are you going to celebrate big things? This to me is a big thing. And if you couldn't celebrate something small, then that means you're not going to celebrate this and you're not going to support me. And that is a big reason why I was like, oh my God, I don't want them to judge me. I don't understand why I cared. I'm seriously, it's just crazy. I don't know why I cared, really. Why I still do care in some cases even. I don't know. I can't for the love of God understand that. But it is weird to not celebrate your friends' wins. It's just so weird. Like, for example, my engagement. When I announced my engagement, the response that I thought I would get from the people that I needed to get it from, I got it from strangers, y'all. I got it from strangers, seriously. And obviously, my close friends, like, like that's a different story. I'm not talking about my close friends. I'm talking about friends that, that are your friends and you would expect them to celebrate something like that for you. And it wasn't celebrated. It was an afterthought. Um, I think when that happened and I shared the news and I was like waiting for like a congratulations or something. Um, it was so weird to be thinking about my friends not saying something. Like, why was I even thinking about that? It's so crazy to me. But like I was hoping that they would be happy and we would celebrate and we would have like a video call and make a fuss, just be girls and just be you know weird about it, which is okay, it's normal. But again, the right set of people in your life is what you need. And if you don't have the right set of people in your life, then you're not going to get responses that you want or need. So it was just like, it was kind of weird. So that even then, that's when I was also noticing, because like nothing had happened. Everything was like, okay. I mean, I know I wasn't home. So like, obviously the communication wasn't as, how it would be before. But I was just like, why? I was genuinely confused. But anyway, put that aside. It was a red flag that I ignored, 100% ignored. But it's very important to sit down and evaluate your relationships and anyone that you call your friend, not an acquaintance, not an associate, your friend, if they cannot celebrate your wins, celebrate your big moments, and support you and cheer you on, that is a red flag, y'all. That is something that you need to watch out for and cut that person off. It's just weird. I'm telling you, it's just weird to not be able to do that for your friend. If you disagree, comment down below. Tell me what you think. I want to hear everyone else's opinions and your thoughts on what I'm saying and my perception of things. Because again, at the end of the day, this is just my opinion. I'm just sharing how I feel. I'm sharing my perceptions and my feelings are valid. So anyone who will try to make me feel like my feelings are not valid, then I'll just have a drink for you. I'm too unserious, I'm too unserious. But I think that's I mean, there's more things that you can do to nurture your friendship, but I think we'll end on that note. Those are the things that I think you should do. So regular communication, quality time, active listening, being reliable, and celebrating your friends' memories and wins and moments, big things in your life. Being present and just showing appreciation for your friends. That is those are the things that you need to do to nurture your friendships and ensure that you build sustainable, reliable, loving, caring, and valuable friendships. Okay? Okay, y'all. Do you get it? So now we'll go into friendship red flags and green flags. We've always been talking about red flags and um not necessarily green flags. We've been talking about red flags in relationships, just like intimate relationships, but no one really talks about green flags. And I thought it was very cool to see because noticing your green flags helps you recognize and value your important friendships. And obviously, noticing the red flags would help you eliminate people that you don't need in your life. And I want to be very clear with this because you can have a friend where all you see is red flags and that person doesn't need to be a friend. But for someone else, that same individual can be all green flags for that other individual, that other friend, and their friendship and relationship would work. So it's just because we all have different personalities and we're not all the same and we're not always going to gel and work together. It's just not how it goes. So me seeing red flags in someone and that person like can't be in my life, can't be my friend, that doesn't mean that that person is a bad individual. It just means that for me, this person can't give what I need in a friendship, and maybe I can't give them what they need in a friendship, and we don't go together well. We clash, so we just need to just not be friends. As simple as it is. Um, Whereas that person might be showing up for another individual in the way that they need, and they're appreciative of that friendship because they care about that friendship. So it just depends on the individual. It just depends on the person. I don't think that anyone who is just a big walking red flag is someone who's a horrible person. I genuinely don't believe that. I just believe that maybe you're just not the right person for me, friendship wise, relationship wise, whatever it is. Maybe that person is just not the right person for you. And that's just how life goes. It's so simple, and no one needs to hate anyone for it. But, you point out the red flags, and if the person can't change for you, then that's just what it is. You just move on and you just live your life without them. So simple. So we shall get into the friendship red flags first. Because we need to start on get rid of the negatives. Let's talk about the negatives first and end on a positive note. That's how I feel. The first red flag is consistently one-sided. Being one-sided can occur in many different ways. One can be texting wise, who's always starting conversations, who's always checking up on the other person. Um, this is so embarrassing, but even though I'm a bad texter, trust and believe, I would check up on the people that I consider my really close friends. I would check up on you for sure. Maybe it's gonna be 6 months. I don't think it's been that long for anyone, but I'm just overestimating in the event that it has. Okay, I'm just overestimating. I don't think it's been that long at all, but I would check in, and I'm sure that friend would have checked in with me, so there wouldn't be a 6 month gap. There would be a gap, but not a 6 month gap. Um, and if the friendship always feels unbalanced, like one person is always giving, so let's say, for example, you're always explaining how you feel, you're always giving information on what's going on with your life, and you just feel like that person doesn't share anything with you, chances are the friendship is one sided. This does not mean that every single friendship where another friend does not share things is a one sided friendship, because sometimes one friend just has more going on in their lives. Like it just can be like that. You just have more things to talk about. Your life is a bit more dramatic, exciting. There are just more things for you to share. Whereas your friend probably just, they don't have anything to share really. And that is just, you know, how their life is. But if they do have something to share, they will share it, and that's important to recognize. So if you see that your friend, maybe not often they're sharing, but they do share once something comes up, then I won't classify that as a one-sided friendship. But if you're the one always sharing, always checking in on that person, every single conversation, if you scroll back months and you can see that you're the one that's always starting the conversations, then chances are that friendship is one sided. And what I would say, just give it 3 months or a month even. Don't message that person. And if they message you, hey, kudos, great. But if they don't, then continue giving it another couple months. And if they don't, continue giving it months. And then you'll see that just years go by and you don't speak. just con- just continue adding months on and you'll see. And then you'll be like, wow. So I stopped texting you and we don't talk. Wow. We're not friends. And it's that simple. It really is that simple, y'all. It's so simple. But I know it can be hard. I know it can be hard for sure, but just do that. I'm telling y'all, just give it a couple months and just keep adding more months on and you'll see. Um and it's okay, people grow apart and things change. I know for a fact my life right now is so busy and I am not a person. Well, I used to be someone that shared everything. My friends would know everything about me. Um, let's say I had a good time with Dwight or something, and I would share that with them. This is in the younger days, though, like when I was earlier, and, things are good in the bedroom. We talk about those experiences, but I don't do that now. I mean, I I keep a lot of things private. I share with like two persons, maybe three people, maybe tops, but not even everything. It is like one individual. Only Tiffany I would share like, like mostly everything with because, that's my sister. We talk about everything. But again, all of those things, it's been years of friendship. So you build that relationship with that person and you'll know who you can trust and you'll know who you feel comfortable sharing certain things with. So always trust your guts, always trust your instincts, and ensure that, you're making the right choices. I've shared, so when we moved to the UK, about 2020, no, sorry, 2021, that year was a big year for Dwight and I shared something with a friend that I shouldn't have because our friend shared it with other friends and it was just like I trusted you to not share and you did. And I found out that person shared those things in one of the weirdest ways. So it was very disappointing. And from since then, um, I guess in the back of my head, I kind of knew that was possible, but I just was naively thinking that, nah, that would never happen. Like, we too good for that. Don't play yourself, y'all. Don't play yourself. I'm telling y'all, don't play yourself. Trust your gut because I knew in the back of my head, I knew, and I like even when I said it, I was like, I instantly regretted it, like in my guts. I knew, I just knew I shouldn't have said it. But I was just hyping myself up. Nah, we too good for that. We too good for. I was hyping myself up, saying that that would never happen, but it did. Okay, and that was very disappointing. The next red flag is lack of trust. So, lack of trust is something that I feel like you can tell from within. As I was saying, like just like a couple seconds ago, your gut would tell you, your intuition, your instincts would tell you. And if something is just like you're not feeling it and you just have a bad vibe about it and you just don't feel like you should share something with someone, that's because there's some um level of trust that's missing within that relationship, within that friendship. And it's not something that you should take lightly. You should 100% follow your instincts and act accordingly. And also look at someone's movements as well. Look at the things that they're sharing with you. Look at how they're treating you. And you'll be able to determine whether you have that level of trust within the relationship. Now, when that happened to me, obviously there was some level of trust that was broken, but that doesn't mean that I don't trust that person at all. You know, it's just that I probably trusted you here and now I trust you here. But it's still not at the very bottom. It's not zero because there were other things that I would have trusted you with and you didn't break my trust then. So I also don't think that someone making a mistake one time should be something that you completely demolish the trust and relationship that you've built with them for, because people make mistakes, and if they're able to be accountable and own up to it and say sorry, I think forgiveness should occur. But that's just me. You might feel differently. You might be like, nah, hell no, you broke my trust once, that's it, I'm done with you. But I feel differently. I am a very forgiving person and I can move on from things. I can put things behind me very quickly, and that's just who I am. I don't like to hold on to things. Like, I need to get things off my chest. That's why I need to talk. My God, it always comes back to me talking, y'all. I need to talk. Once I get it off my chest, that's me done. I'm done with it. I'm over it. I'm moving on. And I feel this sense of release. If there's anything keeping me back and building it, and I'm building it up on the inside, like someone is stifling my voice, that's a problem. That's a problem. I can't deal with anyone stifling my voice on the inside. You need to be able to speak with me and I need to speak with you. And if that can happen, then sorry. We just can't. We just can't, y'all. Um, but there are a lot of things that can happen in relationships that can, um, cause the trust level to decrease. Anyone betraying you, being disloyal. I know people have had experiences where friends would have, slept with their boyfriends, and that's crazy. That is absolutely insane. I can proudly say that has never happened with any of my friendships, despite how crazy it is, and the fact that we're probably not friends anymore. But I can say we've never had that type of issues that other girls would have had. Like, a lot of people would have had that um issue where, oh, I slept with my friend's boyfriend. Huh? No. That's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm sorry, I'm not judging, but it is insane. It is absolutely insane. And it all boils down to whether that person was actually a friend, because you cannot say verbatim that someone is your friend and you sleep with their boyfriend or their husband. I can't. I can't understand it. I will not understand it. I will not stand for it either. But these are things that would happen that would break trust. And if you want to continue working on that friendship, fine. But that's a red flag that you should 100% um it will be waving in front of your face. It will be bright red. It will block your vision. You'll be seeing blurry red pictures, images in front of you. And you're still not adhering to it. What? Guys, come on. Come on, come on, come on. That one is the biggest red flag. That would break the trust, and that would be it for me. Sorry. That would be it for me. There's no coming back there. Okay? There's no coming back there. Another red flag would be negative influences. So if someone is always trying to influence you into doing something wrong, something that you're uncomfortable with, something that you don't feel right about doing, then red flag. Because why would your friend be encouraging you to do something that you're uncomfortable with? Why would your friend be encouraging you to do anything negative? I don't know. You tell me. But things like that can just be so discouraging. And also, um, anyone who drags you down, persons who, listen, in the Caribbean, we have this nasty habit, y'all. Sorry for the dialect. We have this nasty habit where we make digs as jokes. They are not jokes. They are not jokes. I'm telling y'all, it's not a joke. It is serious. That's how people feel. They would say, um, like, make a joke, probably saying, you're feeling cute, you're feeling nice, you're feeling looking good. Mm-mm. I don't care. That's not a joke. That's not a joke, y'all. It's not a joke. People say those things because they're trying to, maybe they see your confidence is high and they're trying to bring you back down or something. Take you off that high high horse that you're on. If you feel like you're on a high horse, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're on a high horse. You just feel confident that day. But it's something that used to happen when I had my Snapchat days. Oh my God. That was the most annoying thing for me. I used to be doing makeup tutorials, doing my eyeshadow and posting it. Me and my friend. Um, and that's the type of comments I would receive from my friends. Like, what are you saying? Okay, I mean, I don't talk to these people anymore, but that goes to show, why do I not talk to them anymore? Can you imagine? That's exactly why, because it just wasn't meant to be. Red flag waving. I should have had a red flag. I should have had a red flag waving, because if there's someone who has ignored red flags, point them all to me. I have ignored it all. I've ignored it all like a psycho. I don't know what's wrong with me, y'all. I don't know. I've ignored it all. But those type of people, you need to, you know, get them out your life, please. Just clean up. Pray and ask for God to get rid of all the negative people in your life. I've prayed that prayer, and Jesus Christ, I didn't expect it to happen, okay? Did not expect it to happen. Next one would be disrespectful boundaries. So I've always felt like setting boundaries with your friends was a weird thing, but it's so valid. You need to set those boundaries, because if you don't, people will cross the lines and they won't know that they're crossing the lines, and it's unfair to judge your friends if you haven't set those boundaries and they're unaware of it. So once you set those boundaries and then they still decide to cross those lines, then obviously, again, red flag waving around. Why do they not respect your boundaries? What's the reason? Can you give me a logical explanation? Can you tell me why you don't respect my boundaries? Oh, well, it's not that serious. What do you mean it's not that serious? That's my boundaries. So it is serious to me. Why is it not serious to you? Why do you not feel like you need to respect my boundaries? Again, red flag, y'all. I keep saying these red flags because and I keep laughing because I've experienced them, y'all. I've experienced those red flags, and it's just anyway. We're moving on, and I'm sure I've been a red flag for people. Okay, I'm not saying that, bro. I'm not saying that I haven't been a red flag, but um, I'm not in anyone's life. I'm sure. I'm sure you probably got rid of me. Okay. Oh my gosh. But that is a huge red flag, y'all. Seriously. Anyone that is disrespecting your boundaries, and be intentional in the boundaries that you're setting. Make sure that certain things are set in stone, like where you stand in your relationship if you're in a relationship, where you stand in your dating life if you're single and you're just dating around. Ensure that your friends respect those type of boundaries, because you don't need your friends to be crossing over and giving you unsolicited advice that you don't need, and it's just it causes more tension than it should. Again, anything can be resolved with communication. So, if that's your good friend, you're supposed to be able to have a conversation where you're setting those boundaries and being respectful and intentional with what you're saying. And your friend should be able to say, okay, I respect your boundaries and these are mine. And you say, okay, cool. And you move on. Hey, okay, we're all happy. We're fine. We're in the meadows. We're around flowers, and we're good to go. That's it, y'all. That's it. But when people are incapable of really understanding and being able to have that emotional maturity, like you can just tell that that's not someone that you'll be able to set boundaries with. I recently set boundaries with someone, and I did something that I didn't do, because I just let that person have their way, because I just couldn't be asked, really. And after I set those boundaries, guess what? Hey, okay, that person is now upset. Why? Who knows? because all I did was set my boundaries respectfully. But, people feel how they want to feel, y'all. I'm telling you, people feel how they want to feel, and it's not your responsibility to change their perception. That's just it. But that's it for the red flags. I hope y'all are able to learn from those things. So before we move on to the green flags, I will share um, a red flag. Well, I'll share a story. So last year, Joyce and I went home for a wedding, and the experience that I thought I would have, the wedding of my dreams, the wedding of my lifetime, all of that was done. But the expectations and the fun and the energy that I thought would be there, it was not. And it was for various reasons that were all 1000% petty. I'm telling you, they were all petty. And there were things that, like, it's things that can be resolved and should have been resolved better, really. Um, and I'm telling y'all, that was like it was such a hard time for me. Like the morning of my wedding, I was in tears. I was at my nail appointment bawling. I'm sure the nail tech probably thought I was crazy because it just wasn't the happiness that I was expecting to feel. And despite what would have occurred, I feel like the most important thing was saying, you know what? That's my friend. This is her day. This is Dwight's day. Dwight's my friend too. I'm gonna show up for them, show out, and I'm gonna make sure that they have a good time. Because if the tables were turned and if it was me, that's what I would do. Or I would respectfully remove myself, which I would never do. Like I would always be able, I mean, but that's just my personality. That's who I am. I'm able to put things behind me and move forward because I've experienced loss in my life. I've lost close family members. When I lost my grandma, that was it for me. Life is too short to be holding on to things. You just should not. You cannot. It makes no sense. You need to love on the people that love you and be there for the people that you want to be there for. It makes no sense. Yeah? It just makes no sense. And I would have showed up the way that my, whoever was getting married needed to be shown up for, and that day would have been for them. I felt like it wasn't everyone else's feelings were placed on the forefront rather than just it being focused on me and Dwight. So that was really hard for me, and I can't express enough how eye-opening it was, because when I tell you, the people that you least expected to show up for you, when I tell you they showed up, when I tell you they showed up, the people that I did not expect to show up for me, they showed up. Y'all showed up. And I was so confused, and I was so sad. I was so disappointed, and I was just like, instead of just focusing on me and Dwight, which I should have just done really, I was focusing on that, focusing on how I knew it would have been if we were all like that. How I was just so in my mind. That's all I was thinking about, seriously. And I couldn't stop thinking about it because it just was it was tough. It was really, really tough. And I just know that I would never do that to anyone that I love, and I would have expected not to be done to me. And it was just very sad, honestly. It was just very sad. But it was so eye opening because when I tell you, um um one of my friends who is like, I didn't even expect her to show up the way she did, and I was so I don't know. Even my mom recognized it. She's like, listen, like whatever it is that went on with you guys, like this, like clearly she put all of that behind her, because when I tell you, she showed up like 100%, and it was so eye opening, and it just made me think back on why we drifted apart and all those things. And it was just, I'm telling you guys, when you're a child and it's just petty stupid things. As I said, we like no one's ever had any crazy experience or anyone like, took anyone's man or some kind of thing like that. Like it's never been that case. It's just been petty stupid things that children do it. Nothing detrimental or serious to where it's like, oh my gosh, that's the worst thing that someone can do, Like it's nothing like that. It's just disagreements, which is so healthy and normal. But I feel like people feel like any disagreements within a friendship means that that's drama, and it's not. Like, we're not always going to disagree. And if you have a yes man around you and that's what you need in life, then fine. I will never be a yes man, and I will never be someone that stifles their feelings. I say how I feel, and I am very good on communicating. So, that's why I feel like me and Tiffany, we just work, because if I feel a certain way, I communicate that to her. She feels a certain way, she communicates that to me. We talk about it, and that's where it ends. It stays on our WhatsApp conversation, and we move on. And that's just how it is. But again, anyway, I feel like, as I'm an only child, that's not my friend. That's my sister, okay? That's my sister. So I shouldn't be comparing. I shouldn't be comparing that relationship to anyone else's. But that's just how I expect everyone else to operate. And I know it's not something that I should expect. It's a big expectation, but hey, I feel like, if we've been close for all these years, then why not? But anyway, y'all, learn from those mistakes, and just whenever you're getting married in the future, focus on you and your partner, because that's the most important thing to do. You're not going to get that day back at all. Have fun and be on time, y'all. I was not on time, and we paid for it, okay? We paid for it. We did not get to have as much fun as we wanted to after everything was done and dance and so on, because we were so late. It was time to go. So be on time, okay? Be on time. Now we'll get into the positives of friendships and the green flags. So, first would be mutual respect. And this is similar to one of the nurturing, how you nurture your friendships, okay? Being respectful with your friends is literally the only way that you'll be able to solve issues peacefully and solve issues without having any ill feelings or animosity or bad thoughts in the back of your head, because you would have had a respectful conversation, things would have been resolved, and you would have moved on from it. So any friend that you can have those type of conversations with, and you guys can move forward and still keep it peaceful and peachy. I mean, if at some point it gets rowdy or whatever, um that's fine, but just make sure that there is a level where at some point it comes back down to earth, because you'd have definitely gone somewhere else. um and once you're able to do that, I think those friendships are the friendships that will be long lasting, because you can work through problems and you show that you both respect each other, and there's that mutual level of commitment towards the relationship, towards the friendship. And with that, there's that's proof that longevity exists within the relationship. It's just how it's supposed to be, in my opinion. You need to respect your friends, you need to respect your partner, you need to respect anyone in life. But when it comes to the people that you love, it's hard when you're upset and you have emotions. And if you're someone like me who's very emotional and I say what I need to say, like I don't think, I just say it. Especially when I'm upset, I say, what's at the top of my head. If you're someone like me, um, you need to be a bit less reactive and more accountable in your reactions. So of course, your reaction is a reflection of something that would have occurred. Maybe someone did something that is so unacceptable, but still, you need to be accountable for how you react to what that person has done. And that is going to be the biggest thing, because sometimes the focus, it shifts from the main issue, which is what that person would have done to you and how they would have treated you, to now the focus is on your reaction. And that's always where things go really bad. And I think that's something that happens a lot because people would do messed up things to me and treat me however they want to treat me. And when I react like a crazy person because of what you did, no one thinks about what the person has done to cause my reaction. What they're now thinking about is what I would have done, how I reacted. So it's it's like a double-edged sword, really. And it is something that I definitely need to work on because at the end of the day, we need to keep the focus on what the problem is, and it's what you did, what your error was, or what I did and what my error was, rather than your reaction to what I did or my reaction. So um, having that respect within the relationship to keep things from going there is very, very important. And it's such a green flag. So praise those friendships that you have that type of relationship with. The next green flag is supportive communication. So when this, I mean, for me personally, um, whenever I'm feeling down, if I come to you as a friend, I'm just looking for your support, encouraging words. When someone else might be looking for something different, maybe they might be looking for you to distract them, and that's why you need to learn your friends because support comes in many different ways. So depending on your friend, you'll support them in the ways that they need supporting, and that's that level of communication that you have with them, and being encouraging and positive, or distracting them, or maybe recommending things for them to do to come out of whatever emotions they're feeling. That's what you would do for your friend. And any friend that is doing that for you, praise them and give them their flowers because those supportive moments is what you need. Friends that support you when you're down, friends that support you when you're doing new business ventures, anything like that, because it's always scary doing something new. And the friends that would have supported me on this podcast, I love them so much. I'm so thankful for their support. And the friends that didn't support me, that's okay, that's fine. Um, I just don't think that we're friends because I can't imagine not supporting you if you started a business. Um, and if I've started something and you can't support me, I'm just in my head. It's like, why? If I can't logically explain it, then that means that we're just not friends. That's how I would see things. And that's just okay. I have my ways of believing things and you have your ways of believing things. Maybe to you, you're supporting from a distance, but to me, who friend would do that? Who does that? Who supports from a distance? I mean, maybe over time, yeah. But when someone starts something new, like you initially give them the support and the energy that they need and the positive energy, you feed it into nature, you feed it into the atmosphere, you feed it into the world, you feed it into the universe. So any friend that's not doing that for you, that's please. But the friends that are, let's praise them, okay? Let's praise those friends. um, Shared interests and values. That's such a green flag. Any friend that is able to share, like you guys are on the same wavelength, basically. Not saying that you and your friend need to be interested in every single thing, but that's a positive relationship. You guys are able to enjoy each other's company. You're comfortable around that person. You do things that you both like. You have fun. And anything that you're doing is something that you both enjoy. And you'll always be able to have fun and the best moments with those people. Um, Whenever and you need to be careful with those types of friendships as well because there are some where you guys can have an amazing time and that's it. That's where it begins and that's where it ends. There's no value to the relationship. There's no substance. There's nothing else. You don't have deep conversations. And again, that's not a friendship. That's an acquaintance or a hangout buddy. Whereas when you find a friend that is able to give you all those other green flags and be there for you in the good times and the bad times, but also share those same interests and those same values, that's a real friendship. That's someone that you need to keep on to and hang on to. But there are also friends that um I know I sometimes I can even be this way. Like I sometimes I don't want to share certain things. I keep it inside on until I'm ready to share. But that doesn't mean that I don't feel that we're close friends. It just means that internally I'm not ready to share as yet. And friends, there are friends that do that. So you just have to look at all the pros and cons. You can't just pick one green flag and say, yep, that's my friend, and just look at that, or pick one red flag and say, nope, that's not my friend. It needs to be something that you look at as a whole, something that you are evaluating on based on all the different things that you need, all the different red flags and green flags that you need to be able to establish whether that's a friend or not. And I think, when you have those shared values and interests, you have common beliefs, you have common goals and common hobbies, you're able to build stronger relationships. It's just a thing. People that you gel with, you're able to build better relationships with. And that's just how it goes in life for anything. Um, Sometimes you can find friends, like let's say you have a friend who doesn't believe in God, but you believe in God. That doesn't mean that you guys can't share um, common things. There are other things that you'll be able to share, but at some point, you and that friend should be like, let's say I wanted to read the Bible, and my friend is like, well, I don't believe in it, but because you're my friend, I'm happy for you to go ahead and let's read the Bible. And maybe you can explain to me why you believe in God and explain to me why you believe in those things. Just the fact that your friend would do that for you shows the type of relationship that you guys have, and shows that you guys are on that level of friendship and deep commitment that you think you need or have. And then we go back again to trust and reliability. So, red flag is lack of trust, and green flag is trust and reliability. Being able to fully trust your friends and fully trust your friendships, that's another type of love, honestly. When you trust your friends and you can go to them with deepest, darkest secrets, and just be your complete, true, vulnerable self with them, that is so powerful, y'all. It is so powerful because we live in this world where we're all, so scared to share who we are, and we're so nervous to be who we are, and it's something that we're keeping inside. Where we're not sure if we should trust someone, and we're just keeping everything inside because of that lack of trust and being able to rely on people. So when you do find those friendships and you're able to do that, you have a safe space to share. You have a safe space to, go if you're in a tough spot and things are not going well with you. Creating that safe environment for a friend is so important, because when they trust you on that level, you'll be the one that they'll call if something goes crazy, whether that's in their relationship or on work or family wise. You'll be that person that they go to. And being there for someone, there's nothing better than being that person for someone, because you don't know what would have happened if you weren't there for that individual. Again, suicide is something that is on a rise. Depression, all the pressures that we're feeling in life now, these are things that people are going through, and you need to have people in your corner that have your back, people that are there for you, support you. They're 100% behind you and against you. Not against you, sorry, but for you. And these are the individuals that you are able to fully be yourself around, and being your true self is all you need. Not just a version of yourself or half of who you are, your true undeniably self. Having someone you can trust and rely on in a friendship is just so important, y'all. And lastly would be growth and encouragement. We all don't want to be in the same place in life, and that's just not how life goes. And your friends should be pushing you, motivating you, encouraging you to step out of your comfort zone and do the things that you love, make the moves that you want to make in life. Go and get that degree, try the new job, take this, open that new business, do something that you truly enjoy, and it's something that you're nervous about. But once you have those friends to push you and motivate you and encourage you to grow and just not stay in the same place that you are in, then that is amazing. I'm telling y'all, when you have that level of support, that type of system behind you, I mean, of course, you'll have that from your family. Family. So, I mean, obviously, not all family members will be supportive, but when you have your family supporting you, that's still different, because it's kind of like they're obligated to support you because we're family. So you kind of have no choice. Like, if my mom didn't support me in something, it would just kind of be weird. I expect her to support me in things. So it's kind of like, oh, she's obligated to do that. Whereas your friends, they are the family that you chose and you're the family that they chose. So it's their choice to support you, their choice to make you feel like, all right, yes, I got your back and I'm going to help you grow. I'm going to get you out of this space that you're in, and I'm going to help you in any way that I can so you can move forward. I think having those types of friendships will not only help you better your personality and who you are, but it'll give you that confidence that you need. Your friends are your hype men, and hype women. Of course, I don't want to be um, gender conformed. Does that make sense? um, but your friends are the people that are supposed to hype you. They're the people that are supposed to make you feel like you're on top of this world, honestly. And of course, not everyone feels that way, which is fine. So, everyone has different friendships and different ways on how they would go about friendships. But for me, your friends are supposed to be those people that hype you up and they're happy for you in all of your successes, but they're also there for you in all of your losses. And, you guys are ride or dies. That's just how I think it's supposed to be. And if you're not getting that, then unfortunately you just need to move on. And it's hard. Friendship breakups are very painful. They're just as painful as a relationship. I don't know, I believe that, and I've experienced it, so I know it's very hard to move on from those tough friendships. But when it's not giving what you need and you're not giving what they need, it's just best to just end it and just cut your losses and move on from life. And life is short, so evaluate whether that's something that you even want to do. Because what if 10 years later you're like, I can't believe we lost 10 years or 12 years of our lives because of something petty, and look at us now, we have kids, our kids are growing up together. Those things, you need to evaluate the long term effects of what will happen when you leave those friendships. And that's how I move on in life. And if I feel like 10 years later I'll be like, I can't believe that that's what we did, then I want to fight for that friendship. But obviously, if that person doesn't feel the same way, then they're not going to fight for that friendship, and you're just going to kind of look stupid. So just cut your losses when you can, and you know move on. But that is it, guys. That is it for episode. I don't want to say episode 2 because I don't know if we're gonna post twice. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if we're gonna film. But another episode done and dusted. Be yourself, guys. Be who you want to be in life. Be happy. Be genuine. Be loving. Be caring. Love on the people that you love on. Let people love you, and just continue being a light in your life and in everyone else's lives that you affect. Just continue being that person and have the confidence to do so, and stop worrying about people. I'm kind of talking to myself here, okay? Stop worrying about what people think. It's just not that serious. It never is. And it shouldn't affect who you are. You know who you are. you know you're a good person, and that is how you should continue living your life. Keep God first in your lives. Ensure that you're praying. Pray against your enemies. Ensure that God is protecting you. Pray for your relationships. Pray for everything that you need in life to be sustainable and happy and free from the attacks of the enemies, because the enemies will come, but you want to be able to overcome them. You want to be able to fight them. You want God to be there on your side. And that is the most important thing, y'all. Putting God first in all of your relationships. Any relationship that you have, pray over it. Pray over it and make sure that you're being intentional with the words that you're saying and asking God to guide you in that relationship, and he will. It's very hard. I have my personal feelings with my whole Christianity, and sometimes I feel like God is not there for me, but he is there for me, and things will feel hard at some point, and sometimes you'll feel like, oh my gosh, why is this happening? Why is this happening with all the people that maybe you care about, or something is going wrong, maybe in work, or whatever it is, but it's God moving you and moving you forward and moving you upward. He's preparing you for other things and moving you on, because sometimes you'll have people in your life that will just hold you back, and God is just preparing you for what is to come and the positives to come. So just remember that, guys, and just always be good. So again, thank you so much. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, tell me your thoughts, tell me anything that you want to share. If you've disagreed with anything that I've said, tell me in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's engage. Let's share our opinions, and let's see how your thoughts differ from mine. If they do, if you agree, then leave a comment down below telling me something that you agreed with. But yes, thank you so much, guys, for supporting and liking and staying tuned to the podcast. And let's keep this going, guys. I am so appreciative. And that is it for episode of Jay's Corner, guys. Thank you. Bye.